Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward. Welcome back, my friends, to Paranormal Heart Podcast. Tonight's segment is actually live, not pre-recorded, streaming on United Public Radio Network, 107.7 New Orleans, and 105.3 the Gulf Coast. As you already know, I'm your host, Kat Ward. Thank you so much for tuning in. Folks, so my special guest tonight was supposed to be the boss man himself, Joe Montaldo, and we're supposed to be talking about rare blood types, aliens, and International Community for Alien Research, ICAR. But he was suddenly abducted by aliens, and Michelle was so kind to be able to sit in for him. Hopefully, if they bring him back in time, he'll be able to join the show. So welcome, Michelle.
Hello again. Yeah, I think Joe's MIA just floating somewhere over the great beyond. I don't know which one got him, but
Oh, wow.
here we are.
Always with my shows, something happens.
You are not wrong.
I know.
Oh my hell. Yes, Heidi. You know it.
Hi, Heidi. Oh, my.
Oh,
Good grief.
it's been a day. It's been a day. Hi, Heidi.
It has been, yeah. So the reason why I wanted to do an episode on this, first of all, blood types have always intrigued me. As I think you know, my mom was a family of 13, and most of them are either O positive or O negative.
Mhm.
My daughter's O negative, so that interests me as well, obviously. But so a few months ago, I had read this article about this rare blood type called the golden blood. There's only about 48 people in the world that they know of who has it. I
Correct.
think they also call it RH null is another name. But not too long ago, I also read this incredible one where a woman in Guadalupe, she's the only one in the world with this blood type. They've even tested her siblings. They don't have that blood type, and they call it the Guada negative, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
That's right.
GWADA. I mean, how can one family member be the only one with that blood type? And I know from doing a little bit of research on this that, and this I didn't know about this. I guess over the generations and throughout time, it's possible for blood types to mutate. I mean, we know that we can limbs, you can have extra digits or or missing digits being born that way. So we know mutations happen that way. I didn't know it could happen with blood types too. And apparently it's to help humans survive various diseases, which I thought was amazing. And I just found out today, my husband told me about it. And ironically, this man only passed away in February, but there was this Australian man who had such, he was called the man with the golden arm because he had what was called anti-D, which produces anti-immunoglobulin. So there's a lot of, there's babies that were born with certain ailments. And as soon as they give a blood transfusion from this man, they were cured of it. And he just passed away in February of this year. So that's another interesting thing. So do you think, Michelle, that there's a link towards these rare blood diseases, or not blood diseases, but rare blood types and extraterrestrials?
Well, you just opened up a whole can of worms there. So
I did.
I also come from a negative blood type family. And my parents, oddly enough, this is why when you get married, they make you do blood tests to make sure you're compatible, right? So the fact that my parents were both negative blood types and found each other way back when there was even less chance, there's only a much smaller percentage of negative blood types back then than there are now, for example. And the doctor was astounded that they even found each other. And my dad's dad was a negative or an O negative. And he basically was always, they were always after him for his blood because they can give blood to anybody, but they can only receive blood from a negative blood type. right? So, and I think that's why, if you are an O negative and you marry somebody who's like a positive, I think they can. So, like, I think the positive aspect, or the for example, A positive, A would be the superseding blood type, and it could go either way because you have that O that can go either way who they give blood to.
Yep.
So, like Wayne, oddly enough, with his former wife, she was an O negative, and
Oh,
he was
wow.
an A positive, and their kids were all A positive. Whereas myself, having both my parents being negatives, of course, somewhere there was the A in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm an A positive, or A negative rather. So are all my sisters. So were all my mothers. So were all their siblings. So were their and my
Hmm.
fathers. They were all negatives.
Wow.
So yes. So hypothesizing, of course, it is believed that the negative bloodline um, does come from an extraterrestrial source. That's what's been hypothesized. In fact, Joe would have told you, like, ICAR broke that story, and he
Mhm.
talked about it on Ancient Aliens, and it has since been picked up by different researchers. I think Linda Moulton Howe commented on it as far as that goes as well. So if you go back 30,000 years ago, for example, everybody was, brown hairs, brown eyes, that sort of thing. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden there's, green eyes, blue eyes, red hair, blonde hair. Something changed in there, and they believe that the missing link was ET. Right.
Mm.
And all of a
Yeah.
sudden this blood type surfaces.
Mhm.
That's the hypothesis. And then, of course, there's a lot of cool things that come along being that. Like, it's believed that, people who have negative blood types don't get sick as much. O blood types. I know people with O blood type who are sick all the time,
Yeah.
including within my own family.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
yet I hardly ever get sick, but I'm not an O, I'm an A.
Mm.
Right. So there's certain things that, I mean, it's believed that people who have like the negative blood type don't easily get things like HIV, for example, or
Hmm.
it's a belief. It's a
Yeah,
hypothesis.
yeah.
Like, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not going to put it out there, but there are different belief systems that the negative blood type can, um, is not affected by a lot of the stuff that, let's say, the positive would be. And again, that's just something that has been poking its head up. Not a doctor, don't know, haven't researched it to that degree. But I know if you go to certain regions, such as the Basque region, the Basque people have a very high concentration of negative blood type.
That's interesting.
South of France, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, my dad is an A negative, and my mom was O positive.
Yeah.
And my dad, I remember growing up in New Brunswick, and there was this one child. He had hemophilia,
Mhm.
and my father was able. He was the only one in the area who could give him blood transfusions. So
Mm.
sometimes he would get called in the middle of the night saying, "Hey, we need you to come in. This kid needs your blood again."
Yeah,
So
because it's so unusual.
yeah.
That was my grandfather. They were always after him back then because there weren't enough people who had it. Like, you have much more, like, a higher concentration of it now, even though it's still not overly common. And then you have people like, I know someone, and I'm not going to just say who it is because it's not my business, not my place.
Yep.
She has come on, my show and talked about it, but she's got the golden blood and she's a negative blood.
Really?
Both.
Wow. See, growing up, I used to always think there was just like maybe four types of blood types, because that's what everybody talks about. But doing
Mhm.
a little bit more research about all this, there's so many different types of blood. It's not even funny.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. There are, and
Yep.
I know Heidi is making mention high strangeness associated with A plus. I here's the thing. All right. I will put, hey, Jen, I will put it this way with respects to high strangeness and certain blood types. I work with a lot of people throughout the last plus decades, just helping people through whether they have attachments or they're just high, crazy, more malevolent, high level areas of things going on. And quite a few of those people have also been ET experiencers. Now, one person I've worked with, I worked together for probably 3 years.
Mhm.
And you get some kind of a friendship after that. You can't possibly not when you get into heavy details of things like that are going on. You can't possibly not get close to people. She was an A positive. So, some people say only the negative blood types have, ET experiences. Well, there were two things going on with this individual. And one was ET experiences, and others were more military based
Mhm.
through association of a
Mhm.
spouse at the time. So, without getting into too much personal information. So there was a cross of two different things going on. So I believe all blood types personally will have extraterrestrial experiences. However, there are those researchers, and Joe would tell you the same thing, because I know we've talked about this like so many times, that, negative blood types, when he interviewed people on ICAR, there was a huge concentration. There were more negative blood types, if not the majority, that were negative blood types.
Really?
Yes. Not that it doesn't happen to
Yeah.
positive blood types, because I've worked with people. And it's one of the questions I routinely will ask is, what's your blood type? Out of curiosity,
Mhm.
since the last many years of working with Joe, it's just like, okay, I have to ask now. And yeah, so there's definitely a blend.
I've even talking at work with guests that come in, and some guests you start talking to, you just get a connection. You just talk about weird things sometimes,
Yeah,
and we're talking about mosquitoes. Absolutely adore me. They always have. I get these huge welts. Like my husband could be outside for like a couple of hours, not a mosquito in sight. As soon as I come out,
yeah,
they're out. It's just like, oh my. So
yeah,
when people tell me things like that, I'm like, oh, what's your blood type? Um,
yeah.
now the first time I just asked it like that, then I'm like, I'm sorry, I should have asked. May I ask you what your blood type is? Because a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know what it is.
No, because they will usually charge you to get
Yeah.
it, yet they know when you're born. And I
Yep.
don't know what the hesitation is with just giving it out.
Mm-hmm.
If you donate blood, they'll say, "Well, donate blood," and then they'll tell you.
Yep.
I basically, through my marriage, um, my former spouse was a matter of, we got married, you got tested, because he was a positive and I was a negative. So I had to get, the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you think about it, you think about, look like a Joe Montaldo. I sure don't. Picking up pieces. Anyway, can't leave my girl cat here in the jam. So, but, but what would require a, a mother to self abort, kill a fetus,
Yep.
right? So you have to get a shot to be able to accept this child.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi,
Which is so
Carrie.
strange.
I know, right? So you ask yourself, like, what is the intervention? Is that the missing link? Is it an extraterrestrial connection? And these people who are having these other blood types, it's just like, is this something that's mutated, or
Yep.
is this something that is the body changing things, or is it a different type of ET?
Yeah, because if you're, I don't want to say it that way. I was going to say if you're having a human baby, but that doesn't, no. But like you said, with the mother carrying that child, and
Mm,
the mother just rejects it because of a blood type.
yeah.
Like,
I know.
Why? Why? And does that happen in animals, I wonder?
Well, it's like Wayne says, biological engineering. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. 100%. That's
Yeah,
um
when it says you look into history, there's sayings like you can't marry outside of your class. Yep. Distinction. Maybe it was just misinterpreted. Maybe you're not supposed to marry outside your bloodline. Hey, there's a good thing to think about. Yeah.
it makes you wonder if you're
Yeah.
all, because technically speaking, and again, Joe would say the same things. We've talked about this so many times. If you look into a lot of royalty, even higher up politicians, a lot of them are negative blood types.
And have blue or green eyes, I believe, too, don't they?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
some, yeah. So again, you're going back in time, and you start looking at certain areas that evolve. Yeah, keep the bloodline pure. Exactly. So,
Yep.
you go back into places like the UK, Scotland, especially Ireland, red hair, green eyes, right? So, like my natural pigments underneath my colors, I always had like red highlights, and my
Me
eyes
too.
are not only green, but they change. My eyes change colors to many different colors.
Mine do too, depending if I'm really mad, they go a deep aquamarine. It's
Yeah.
freaked out people when they've seen it.
Yeah, mine's done some funky things. I'm not going to say on air, but anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Uh, yeah. The conspiracy about the holy blood, 100%.
Yep.
100%. Yeah. Hello, Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Yeah, so for sure. But it is interesting. It is interesting for sure.
Yep. Let's see here. Hey, Corey. I couldn't put my 2 cents in why the mother cannot carry the child is definitely connected to reptilian DNA. Sadly, it's horrifying to the mother not understanding this. Oh, totally. Yeah.
Mm. There's again, is it the missing link? I believe that there are a lot of hybrids out there
Mhm.
as well. So, is it, if the blood type is an issue, and I say if because it's not, there are many, like I say, there are many positive blood types that are ET experiencers. And if you get into hybrids, I mean, if you factor in, where we come from, we've had other terrestrial races here for millions of years, millions and millions of years, long before us. We're not the first kick at the can here on good old planet Earth.
Yeah.
So, technically speaking, maybe we're all hybridized in one way or another. But if you're getting into a lot of that, and they getting into, people are claiming to have had children for ET, or they themselves are hybrids, then maybe ET is doing something to avoid, like, jump that step when it comes to blood.
Mhm.
Again, hypothesis.
Wayne says if you're part of the negative blood type and had a fling outside of the bloodline, the positive blood type fetus will self abort.
Yeah, it would sure would,
Mm-hmm.
make sense for a lot of the miscarriages back in the day. But I mean, when blood tests became a thing, it was one of the reasons they had you doing blood tests. You know,
Yeah, sadly,
so
my mother, after she had me, she lost three, sadly. So I have no siblings. It wasn't for lack of trying.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and I also have um, an aunt, actually, and a cousin who have had three miscarriages as well, sadly enough.
Hmm.
So, but I don't know what their blood type is. It would be
Yeah.
interesting to know.
Um, yeah, sorry, I'm just responding, yeah, to our grand poobah.
Oh,
He's yeah.
yeah. For
Anyway,
those of you just tuning in, it was supposed to be Joe, but he was abducted by aliens, and Michelle was
I'm
nice enough
I'm
to be able to stand in for him.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm at the helm. No worries. So yeah,
She's got our
um,
backs.
always. Hey,
Hey,
Carolyn.
Carolyn.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's just, just a thought
Mm.
with all of that. I find it fascinating. I mean, I know, at least with my family, like we're all negative. So, and I have an understanding of where,
Yes, for sure.
yeah, at least when something goes on, at least we know, because I have friends, who are, ironically enough, negative blood types, and my O negative blood type friends tend to have a lot of health issues, and
Yep.
family members like a lot tend to have health issues for sure.
Yeah. Same with my family. Yeah. It's something interesting. I can't remember how many years ago it was now. It was in a podcast I was listening to, and they were claiming that um, humans are from another planet, and we have been not conditioned but changed. What was the word you used earlier? I can't remember. Anyways, that they've changed us to be able to live on this planet. And then recently, I didn't read it. I saw the headline, and
Mm.
it said scientists now have proof that humans aren't from this planet. And it's just like,
Mhm.
oh, I was at work, so I couldn't read it,
Right,
and now
right.
I can't find it. So I'm gonna have to do a
Like,
little deep dive. It's probably one of those clickbaits. It's probably not as interesting as the title.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, well, I mean, it's to me, it's all very, very fascinating. I don't think that ET judges one way or another, what the blood type is. Um, I think there are family lines as well. They stick very close to family lines.
Oh
I
yeah.
I know I've gone through, like listening to stories throughout in my family, and this is definitely something that has been ongoing for a very long time. Through grandparents, great grandparents, and not going beyond that. But it wasn't until I started really delving into it where it was like, okay, wait a minute, this is a thing,
Yeah.
right? So it's very, very interesting. But I mean, there's theories like Joe will tell you, oh, people who aren't meant to see them won't see them. And then I've heard people like, I've done some research, and there are some people, you be in a group of people, some people see them, right? Right. Oh, yeah, there's something in the sky. Other people, like, they don't see it. Yet
Mhm.
in other circumstances, everybody sees it, you know? And I think it's part of why these CE5s have become popular as well. Is you're prepared, and most people are having these experiences. So is it because they're already experiencers, or is it just because everybody can see?
So Wayne, when astronauts are in space, their bodies start to follow the Mars day and month. I didn't know that. Really? You're not just pulling my leg.
News to me. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, which shows you, I guess, if we're all technically Martians and we came here after the fact because of cataclysm and
Mm-hmm.
eventually made our way here, or were brought here, whatever the case may be, and came from that, then that would make perfect sense.
Yeah, because yeah.
Vampires
Uh,
prefer RH negative blood. Wayne, I don't know. What do you prefer? Yeah, we came here from Mars. There we
yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I've also read over the years that Mars used to have uh, an atmosphere,
yeah.
uh, where we could have lived on, and
Mhm.
well, oh,
Wayne says, "No, I'm not partial to it." Yeah. So, no,
oh, funny.
I agree. There's a lot of stuff that, I think is starting to surface, many resets, and exactly what Carrie's saying, exactly that we're not
Yeah,
we're not from here. So, 100%. Yeah. Mm.
I felt that for a while, and people tell me like, no, no, but uh,
Well, I mean,
I
here's
don't
some
want to. Oh,
no,
go ahead.
No, you go
No.
ahead, and then I'll jump in with what.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was just going to say that if you take religious text out, like the Bible, because a lot of this, I know my family thinks or says that we are from Earth, and it's blasphemous for me to say that maybe we weren't originally from this planet. If you take that out of the equation and just kind of think of outside of the box type thing, that we might be able to get a little bit more, and maybe we can get some more answers that way.
Yeah, it's very possible. But I mean, realistically speaking, there's, Joe has interviewed a lot of people for ICAR as well. And a lot of contactees seem to have a lot of what they call apocalyptic dreams. And in the apocalyptic dreams, they often describe red sand and red, like right? And I'm thinking, God, it sounds a lot like a Mars atmosphere, but apocalyptic times. Is that something that's just really embedded rather into us?
Wayne.
Yes. So I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah.
So and these are something that a lot of contactees have said, and I don't think it's not that I've had apocalyptic dreams per se. I've had, for me, like they don't seem really panicky like that. Wayne has had them where he has basically figured, like you're just running for your life. I have talked to people who have described the same type of dreams. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe there is something to all of that.
So, do you know, like, the majority of the abductees, are they negative, or is it just O?
No, just negative.
Okay,
Blood type. Yeah.
Could be A or O negative. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Just the negative blood type, according to people, contactees that Joe has interviewed throughout the decades as well.
I am so happy he has this ICAR. I mean, I looked at it a little bit. I haven't really I didn't do a deep dive yet, but I'm so happy that he has this place for people to look at. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's something that, people have been there and they have, I guess, allowed themselves to be not a case study per se, but it's they have basically being interviewed and everything being well researched. It's a really good idea to have. I'm sure there are other places just like it, but he's been at it for a really, really long time, like decades.
You're saying Joe's old?
Yes, I'm saying Joe's old. Yeah, he's not here to defend himself.
Oh, jeepers.
I'm here for you, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, like one says, we could do a whole show on those dream experiences.
And we sure will.
Positive.
Yeah, we sure will, because it's on the next open mic. He's like, what? Yeah. You called it. But yeah, he is A positive. It's one of the most commons.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I remember my mom saying I had my dad's A and her positive, so I think I'm A positive. Next time I have to go for blood work, I'm going to ask my doctor, because if your doctor was willing to do it, they could just add on blood work, because they did that in Alberta. They just add, I want to find out what the blood type is.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah.
Be interesting. I know some doctors won't do it. They'll say, go donate blood if you want to do it. And, I mean, I had a family member who paid to get that done privately to find out. Yeah.
Wonder how much that costs.
I don't know. I don't know. But, I'm surprised that they wouldn't have it. I mean, if you and your husband are both, you're both positives, then you wouldn't. Okay. So you wouldn't have had to. Yeah, Wayne can take my blood. Yeah. Yes, he sure can.
Yes.
If I give it to him. I'm a little possessive about it, but Yeah,
Carrie says dreams are very telling, even the nightmares. Yes, indeed.
true. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay.
Take your blood in the transfusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yes. Yes, exactly. Wow.
Oh,
Wayne, Wayne,
jeepers.
Wayne, 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 Wayne. So, but yeah, it is really fascinating stuff when you start getting into all these schematics of
Mhm.
it all. But I don't know. Yet here we are, people having experiences on all walks of life. Like I say, I do know one person who's a cross between a negative and a golden, and apparently it's all
Yeah.
been tested, everything too,
Hmm.
right? So kind of hybrid thing happened there.
I have a friend. She told me a few years ago that her mother, I can't remember, she had to have a blood transfusion. There was something medical that she had to have done.
Hmm.
She went in having one blood type and she left having another, a completely different one. And I'm like, how does that even
How?
happen? Yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not pulling my leg. And she says, no. I'm like, how does that happen? She goes, I have no idea. Even her
Dolly,
mother was,
Dolly's a nurse. Chime in, Dolly.
oh, yeah.
God. Yeah, that's different. Go in with
That's,
one blood type, come back out as another. It's
it's
almost
a
as though they'd
doppelganger.
have to drain you and fill you up. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. I
yeah,
didn't even think that was possible.
I guess so. I guess so.
Hmm. Oh, Wayne, if you
Yeah.
can remember your dreams, I found it very difficult to recall my dreams of late. Yeah, I do sometimes too.
Mm,
Chimera, Carrie says.
hmm.
Yep.
I don't
Wow.
know. So,
But definitely blood. I should have been a hematologist, maybe, a blood doctor,
yes.
because
Yes.
it's always fascinated me. Oh, bone marrow transfusion. Oh.
Possible. Yeah. See? Mm,
So,
it's-
Dolly, are you saying that if someone has a blood marrow, a bone marrow transfusion, that potentially their blood could just be different afterwards?
mhm.
Hmm.
There we go. I don't know. It's crazy. Hey, Guardian.
Hey, Guardian.
Yeah. So,
Just
I don't know.
yeah.
you
So,
know,
I'm just trying to think when that happened. No, just thinking back of my friend when she told me about her mother. I haven't heard anybody else say anything like that.
hmm.
Oh, Dolly says O can become B. Well, that's interesting.
Well, oh yeah, O is interesting. That's what I was saying. I think O is key because his former spouse was an O negative,
Hmm.
and he was an A positive. So basically, his kids ended up A positive. Is it because that O can give blood to? It's one of these things that can become and mix quite easily, even though you know, you can't give positive to a negative for transfusions, but vice versa.
Hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong on that. So why not?
I remember my mom saying because she was O positive that she could give to everybody, but
Mhm.
only an O positive could give to her. And she goes, I
Yeah,
got shafted.
I know the magic of O. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It just makes me wonder if we're going to find out because I just recently found out about that one woman on the planet with that one blood type. I wonder if we're going to be finding out about other blood types now. Now that science is better and you can find out information just like that.
I think that's the key. Is science is better.
Yep.
It's more advanced, and it can, you know, I guess you can dig a little deeper with it. Uh, yeah, negative is universal donor.
Mm.
O can only get O. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you think about it, technically speaking, you have Why do people call me? It's the worst game. The phone's just going. It
The
shows
Grand
up on my
Poobah.
computer, so I had to squirrel out there for a moment. This is last minute for me, so
Yeah, and I thank you.
yeah,
Again,
that's
for
no
those of
problem.
you just tuning in, we were supposed to be Joe, but yeah, he suddenly disappeared. We think it's
Yeah,
ETs,
yeah, yeah.
and
Well, we'll just go with that.
yeah,
Sorry, I'm just trying to get myself out of
that's
this.
okay. So Jen says, highly unusual occurrence of blood type change within A groups happens when a bacterial infection, in the intestines produces an enzyme that
Yeah.
alters the A blood group molecule to closely resemble B. That's interesting.
Mm, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, did not know that could happen. So maybe that's something that happened to my friend's mom, something like that. I don't know.
Is the universal recipient. Also interesting. I don't know. We are machines, our bodies
Yeah.
are machines. And if we are in, communication, those of us who are experiencers, I imagine we are constantly, you know, throughout generations and millennia have been getting little upgrades and so on. So,
Hmm.
some more than others. And, I do believe that they look for certain bloodlines. And I guess we
Definitely.
just have to look at the bloodline, you know.
Hi, Trish.
Hello. Yep. So, just if that's the case, then, this stuff just keeps going on and on. So
Hmm.
I know just for people who after me, throughout in our family who have had experiences. So that doesn't change.
How can somebody find out if they are experiencers if they don't really know, like if they've been abducted?
I think, with like for me, because there's just such a fine line, like I could talk about my own experience. What to
Mhm.
answer the question is you could consider hypnosis, but it's like once you open that door, that's it. The door is open, right? But for me, um, I think, if you have, I started having recollections, but I also started looking at things, being involved in the paranormal field for, like I said, a couple of decades. I started seeing that there were similarities with the people that I've helped. I'm like, okay, maybe
Hmm.
I've seen these things. I've had experiences where I've seen crafts numerous times, and I had this huge interest in the stars. Then I realized so did my grandfather. My grandfather had a telescope, and he would always look at the stars. We were always seeing things. Mind you, I lived up north. There were no satellites way back in the day. If you had one at the time, in this, growing up in the '70s, sort of thing, at an age where I would have recollection. um, then I started just piecing things together. And then I finally just said, okay, you know what? I'm ready for this. And all I had to do is because I started having sightings now, because I said, I'm ready for this. And the sightings started coming back again. So much so that I started questioning a lot of things that happened to me in my past. I'm like, is that paranormal or was that ET? And you start realizing the similarities between all of it, right down to, you know, like the smell of sulfur, for example. Everybody say, "Oh, demons." Yeah, ET as well. Bright lights that flash across, or the orbs,
Yep.
or the cracking sounds, the crackling sounds, all of that also ET related. Sleep paralysis. As much as there's logical explanations for it, in the paranormal, we can call it, the Hag syndrome, where it pushes down in your chest. Well, guess
Hmm.
what? ET experiencers are also reporting the same thing. The similarities are so similar that I started questioning
Yep.
exactly what was I really experiencing. And then I started having more and more and more experiences. And now, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, well, I'm pretty much on board. I know what's going on for sure. Yeah, see, Carolyn's got it. Yeah.
To answer Adrian's question, this is not part two.
No.
Unfortunately, Joe wasn't able to make it with us. It was a last minute thing. We think he got beamed up. So Michelle was gracious enough to step in for him. Since this is live, I usually do pre-records, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. It does. You know what? It's hard too in the summertime. You know, my Thursday guest just basically said, had to go out of town for family. Oh,
Oh
thank you
no.
for that. But yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I got it. So yeah, but of course, you know, I've got a waiting list. Thank gosh. So
Yep.
yeah, I didn't think I'd get away with a night off twice in a row. So
Well, you needed it too. You need a break sometimes.
I do, but not this week. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, my dad was always into avionics and NASA and just the stars. So I remember back home, he'd pack my mom and myself up, and his best friend, which I call my uncle, but he's not. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
we'd go up to one of the mountains and just where there's no light pollution, and we'd just lay there because we had a van back then. We'd actually climb on top of the van, lay down, and just watch the stars and look to see what's happening in the skies. I remember doing that most of my life as a child. So
Yeah.
I've always had a fascination with space. So did my dad. So
There you go. So maybe there's something there, you know.
maybe, yeah.
I think once you start to see the similarities and you start to remember more, once you say I'm ready, then you start to see things unfold. And I realized for me, all that was just telepathic. And when things responded and started happening, I realized that we already had a connection. And then I started looking back into my childhood. As far as hypnosis goes, it's for me, I'm a firm believer in I will retain what I'm meant to retain. The rest is like I said earlier, it's for me, it's junk, you know, like I remember exactly what I am, you know, meant to remember. Everything else is a distraction.
Right
And
now, I have no memory. Go ahead.
I said, I have enough distractions. Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't seem to retain anything now the older that I get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Jen, she's had people report the smell of skunk with evil entities.
Yeah. Skunk, sulfur, waste,
Yep. Anything that's
excrement.
just
Yeah.
that we don't like.
Yeah. But I mean, out your way, Jen, there's a lot of ET activity out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jen is also a nurse, or was.
Yeah, there we go.
Was? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I've noticed that there's somebody else who is a host on the network was also a nurse. So it's funny.
Yeah.
I have encountered
Yeah.
I have encountered so many people in the paranormal community who were or are nurses, which is really interesting.
Yes. Well, you can just imagine all the stuff that you see in the hospitals.
Yep.
Paranormally speaking, you know.
I had to go for a sleep test a few months ago, and I was waiting for something because I had to go after hours, right? And not a soul there except for the ones doing the sleep study and the technician. And I was like, okay, if anything's going to happen, but I didn't notice anything. I was kind of disappointed, but part of me is thankful too, because could have been nasty.
Yeah. Boo. Could have went either way.
Hi, Trish. I said she had both skunk and sulfur in her house. Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's a little bit problematic. If you're having other paranormal things that you can collaborate with that.
So do you think that we're going to be finding out about more red blood types in the near future?
I think with technology, if they're out there, they'll definitely find it. I mean, there's leaps and bounds happening in the world of technology and medicine. So yeah, I think it's there. But I mean, you look at this woman, you know, with the Guada negative blood, and that blood was taken 15 years ago, and they've only just gotten into it. And like, yes, this is a thing 15 years later. So yeah. Technology. Yeah.
Wow, I knew it wasn't like recent, but I didn't know it was 15 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they said. I think she was doing blood work like 15 years ago, and
Yeah.
they just found it recently.
I
So,
wonder what made them look into it again.
good question.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just inputting it. And now a lot of them are going to an AI system, so
Yeah.
they could have been inputting the information in and went, bing, bing, bing. What is this? Right? So,
Can you imagine being the person getting the information and going, "What? This
mm,
doesn't. This isn't a blood type. Like, what's going on?"
yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, I'd be just so excited. Like, what? So, yeah, I imagine that as they start moving along and putting that into the system, you're going, if it's there, and this is going to be quite a process when you factor in, the size of the population. There's definitely a good chance that if they're out there, they will surface.
Yeah. Carrie said she heard someone say once that blood is coagulated light. That's interesting.
Very much so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guardian, you're not the only one who doesn't know your blood type. So many people don't.
Hmm. Yeah. But if you donate blood, they'll always give it to you.
Yep.
If you are, getting blood work done, you can specifically ask your doctor. Like I said, I've had family members who went and had to pay for it independently because it's definitely not something that they, that they'll give you per se.
Yep.
So
Well, that's how my daughter found out she was O negative. She went to give blood, and then
yeah,
because they really want that blood, they
yes, but
gave her a card, and
they take blood as a baby. They would know as well.
yeah,
It
I
should be in
know.
there. Like, when they give you those little blue cards at the hospital,
Yeah,
I thought that was on there. Then when I looked, it's like,
because I don't know what my son's is, and I was trying to go back to find out some of the baby stuff from the hospital that I saved, like the
yeah,
little anklets, the bracelet things that they
yeah,
have. And I
yeah,
didn't find any blood types on there. And I thought, well, that was from New Brunswick, so I don't know
yeah.
if that matters. But
No, no, you would think it was there, but
yeah,
nope, not at all.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
I know.
Trish is O negative.
Mhm. There's a lot of more negative blood types out now. Like I said, like back in the day, my parents found one another. It was just like there were a heck of a lot less percentage then than there is now.
Really?
Hmm. Oh, my mom's doctor, the family doctor was like, how he literally said to her, how the heck did you guys ever find one another?
Huh. Yeah.
So it's just weren't many. At the time, there was just like maybe, 3 to 5% of the world's population. Now it's like what, between 25 and 30?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot more as the population grows.
Yeah, for sure. I'm an alien. Maybe.
That's funny.
There's a lot of us out there. Negatives, for sure.
Yeah.
But but again, one of the biggest questions are, with is the ET connection and with contactees, and it's just like no. I think I've talked to people from all walks of life, all types of different blood types, who are experiencers, and it just happened in Joe's research with ICAR that many of those people who came forward claimed to be, they were the negative blood types.
And that's another reason why I'm glad Joe started that, because you get to see the similarities.
You do. You
Yeah.
do. And there's still a lot more, like just sitting, waiting to be researched, like they had directors from different areas and everybody delves in and does their research based on the areas that the information comes in from.
Wayne kind of makes sense if we're beings of light encapsulated in these meat suits,
It's true.
avatars. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, 100%.
Oh, Trish, I hope you didn't burn the chicken either.
Yep. Exactly.
So, I wanted to It's not
So
what I wanted
Carrie,
to click on.
no.
I'm not used to live yet, so
Uh,
the chat is just like, oh my god, I can't keep up.
yeah.
Corey, hey Trish, is your fridge running? Go check that too. Sorry, old joke. Yeah. Oh, good grief. Never on ID tags. So, Jen, are you saying that on ID tags, like for babies, that the blood type's not on there?
Very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
You would think, I mean, from a perspective, you would think that is something that you would want to keep really handy in case something happened. That should be something that you should be able to look at a glance.
Yep.
If you need a transfusion or if something happened, it's not made very easy. So
Thank you, Carrie Lynn. Says it's nice seeing me live and being able to be part of the chat. I love the chat. Michelle has said it several times that the shows on the network, we're seeing people, the people who listen to one show will go and listen to another show and go to
I
listen to
do.
another one, and they're just so supportive, and the chat is just amazing. I haven't, knock on
Yeah.
wood, I haven't come across any negativity during the chats. Like you're all
And
amazing.
they're very easy to remove from here. We have like 8 streams that are coming in right now,
Oh wow.
to one space. Yeah, so it's really great. Love our chat family.
Yeah, they're amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, so thankful that so many people, I mean, since I've been with the network, when did I join? I think it was October last year. I can't quite remember. Right around then.
Doing
And
okay. Yeah.
yeah, and the amount of people that I've come across since then, like other hosts, people in chats, it's just so amazing. It's a great network with great people.
There's my Heidi.
Yeah. Yes. Heidi, yeah, her and I chat. Mort, we chat a lot, but Heidi, oh my God, she will post all the shows from the network whenever, it's like, girl, don't you ever sleep?
She's our networker. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. I mean,
yeah, we've all got a great group of networkers, and
yeah,
Heidi's the center of a lot of it, and Mark Mozo from the UK gets in there as well, and gets in there. Gratitude to you too, Heidi. Love your bunches, chick.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've got a great chat family, and I think as you go along, and you get so many people, I could literally, yeah, that's right. We'll all be family. It's right. Just love our open mics for that reason, because everybody gets involved. Everybody just researches and everybody talks among themselves and hypothesizes. And it's wonderful to see. So
Jen says it's a privacy thing. That's kind of odd, I guess.
They don't want you to know who the aliens are. I'm just kidding. Kidding.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you're half serious. You might have something to that. I don't know.
I know.
If Michelle suddenly disappears, we'll know she was right.
Like Joe.
It's like, where the heck did you go, Joe?
That's right.
It's me. He just ditched me. That's okay.
What a guy.
I forgive him. He is the boss man.
Do it without a good reason.
Oh, I know that. So, yeah. He usually shows up 20 minutes before you're supposed to go. Yeah, so just like, okay, where is he?
He does.
And another one who posts, who's very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Well, Jen, she'll post all of the shows too, from various, not just from the network, but other friends who are maybe are not on the network who have shows. She posts them too, so she's very supportive as well. Thank you. Just great people.
That's what makes this all work.
Well, I remember when
it's like a machine.
I remember when I first got into the paranormal, there was a lot of bullying and a lot of negativity, and it was horrible. And I actually knew this girl who just we chatted all the time because we were always in the same chat rooms and everything. And
Mm.
all of a sudden she disappeared because she did have her own team, and they were doing research, and they had a little on Blog Talk she had way back then, and she had to get a restraining order because her own team were harassing her and threatening her, going to her work, leaving messages on her phone, saying her research didn't, like, it was BS, and she actually had to get a restraining order. And I thought, what the heck is going on? And then just all of a sudden, people started getting fed up with the negativity and bullying. And now I always say I don't like this terminology, but it is what it is. Para-unity, because everybody decided to get together and get rid of the bullies. And I've been so blessed to meet so many great people in this community now.
People will love you. People won't love you. At the end of the
Oh,
day,
for
don't let
sure.
it rent space in your head. This is what
Yeah.
I said to Sean the other night, because he was talking about this on his show on Into the Night. And it was a matter of I said, just do a good job, be kind to others. And, if you're going to help others, make it about those people. Don't make it about what's good for you. When I do an investigation, or when I used to do the live ones, especially, it was never about, hey, you're lucky I'm here. It was about, thank you for entrusting yourself and your family to me.
Yep.
And let me take the weight for a while.
Yep.
Relax. I've got you, sort of thing. It was nothing more than that. It was very humbling that so many people, wanted me to work with them, because at one point I was like about 18 to 24 month waiting list, because the type of things
Wow.
the type of work I did, especially in person, with a type of hauntings or attachments I was dealing with, it's not just cut and dry. I mean, you're working with families sometimes for months, sometimes for years, and I could only work with so many at a time. I didn't want any crossover with.
Yep.
So
Wayne says he was known as Weirdo Wayne. What do you mean was?
I still call him that. No, my sister calls him Wanker Wayne. I know.
There's that word again, wanker. You guys love that word.
Gotta put it out there somewhere. The bird just won't take to it.
That's so funny.
I know. Now she calls him like a tall white.
Oh,
it's just huge.
too funny.
Yeah,
I've embraced my weirdness a long time ago, and I find I'm happier, and the people that should be around me are around me. Instead of like,
your
well,
tribe.
Yes. Instead of like, well, I hope they accept me. No, what about if I'm going to accept them now?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
You always tend to, what you put out there comes back to you. It really does work that way. So if you want something in your life, then that's what you have to put out. I don't believe the universes or the powers that be on a spiritual level have a complete understanding of want or need. I think it's what you project, you receive.
Yep. Totally agree.
Yeah. So it works. Here we are.
We are at the end, Michelle.
We are.
Or Joe. I'm going to start calling you Joe. It would be funny if you could just peel off a mask and it's Joe.
It was me all along. No, because I talk more.
Oh.
I always razz them. Yeah.
You're in character. That's why.
That's it. I have to. That's right. We'll go with that.
Thank you so much to everyone in the chat, everyone tuning in. I really appreciate you all. And thank you, Michelle, for stepping in and making this episode possible, because I really didn't know what I was going to be doing. It's
well, I got you.
No. I know you do.
Tuesdays are good. I'm usually around. It works.
Yeah. I'm glad you gave me that time slot. I know people already know who you are and where to find you, but in case people are just tuning in and they don't know, can you tell them where they can find you?
Well, yes, you could find me at michelledesrochers.com. You get most of that. But on Wednesdays and Thursdays, you could find me on the Outer Realm. And we have a bit of a schedule change. Tomorrow night, of course, we have Laura DiDio, who's going to be talking about going from Amityville, Conjuring, and right on to her other, paranormal experiences. But my scheduled guests Marilyn Hughes for Thursday had to do a schedule change. So we have Max Hawthorne, and Max Hawthorne is like amazing. And he's going to be talking about large black cats. And this is a big cryptid thing and possibly shape shifting.
In the UK or just in general?
Oh, no, he's in the US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we'll be generalizing and stuff because I have my own big black cat experiences and research and so on. So I think it's going to be really interesting. So we're going to be flipping over from astral projection to giant, big black shape shifting cats. That's Thursday night.
Going to be very, very interesting.
I think so.
Well, your shows are always interesting.
Thank you. I try.
So thank you again, Michelle. I'm just going to say my farewells to the audience and we'll see you soon. So thank you to my very special guest tonight, Joe, aka Michelle, my amazing audience, and UPRN 107.7 New Orleans and 105.3 the Gulf Coast. Remember, if you enjoyed the show, please support us by liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. And another way to help support the show is by grabbing some swag. If you'd like to pick up your very own Paranormal Heart Podcast mug, like this one here, if you are watching the video, drop me an email at paranormalheart13@gmail.com. Until next time, take care of each other. Much love to you all.